You have created a monster and it will destroy you.
She's alive! Alive!
I am Dracula.
Welcome, Manorites. Here we are, Season 2, Episode 1. And in launching it with a bang, I get to introduce you to a really cool guy. I actually started following him on TikTok, and I was kind of, fanboying at everything that he was in. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to our good friend, Douglas Tait.
Hey, Monster Manor people.
Welcome, my friend. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. You even inspired me to bring out my old
Oh, yes.
hockey. I know yours is considerably cooler, though.
I do. I should have brought some of my props around. I have a few good ones that artists have sent me, so yes.
Oh yeah, and definitely if you're watching this show, people, check him out on TikTok, because this is one of the few guys that actually does lives. You can ask questions. You can it's amazing. So please follow him on TikTok and his other social medias, and we'll put those up through the broadcast. So Douglas, we love asking, first off, you're well known for what you do, but if we go back in the Wayback Machine, what was young Douglas Tait like? Did you ever imagine that you would be doing what you're doing now?
I grew up in Los Angeles, and I always wanted to be in movies and TV. I remember from a young age, but as far as like the characters I played in horror and whatnot, I was always into Halloween, and I would spend months before planning my costume. I made haunted houses at my house and invited people. So it was something that kind of like that love of horror and Halloween mixed with my love of acting kind of came together as what it's become now, which I could tell you're a fan of Halloween. That intro, I was just so into it because growing up, my first job and my only job I've ever had as acting, I don't know if you heard me say this, but was playing characters at Universal Studios Hollywood. I started in high school playing Frankenstein, the Wolf, and Phantom of the Opera, Harry from Harry and the Hendersons. I did a show there. So I was so in love with doing those characters, and they came natural to me. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of the beginnings.
Yeah. So
I have my Frankenstein mask that I wore in the park.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yes,
I remember seeing that, and we didn't get our Universal Orlando until like the early '90s.
Yes.
And they very rarely had the walk around Frankenstein because it was so blistering hot anyway.
Oh yeah. That was it was tough in LA on the 90, 100-degree days, but
yeah,
I don't know. There was just something about being in that character. It kind of got my start. So I have a love for Frankenstein's monster for sure.
I have got to send you, and I've actually got a few copies of this. It was back probably from the 70s, but it was an old issue of Dennis the Menace, the comic book.
Yes.
But it was only available, it was like a special thing with Universal Studios. So it was Dennis the Menace and his family going to Universal Studios Hollywood, seeing the makeup show, and of course there's Frankenstein in that. So if you want, as a thank you for being our first guest of the second season, I'd love to send that to you, because if anyone would appreciate it, it'd be you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember that show growing up. They didn't have it when I worked there, that when you go to the back lot and they do a makeup. I remember seeing that, and I was fascinated by it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of the things. I was so jealous that we didn't have a Universal at the time because I was a kid
Yeah.
reading that comic and it's like, wait a minute, they do stunt shows and they do all this. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It was like a peak in the business, and seeing it when you're a kid, you feel like, oh, I could do this,
yeah.
as opposed to if you're in a, another state where you don't see it. A lot of actors that I meet said, I grew up around in a small town. I never thought I could be here doing acting and stuff. Whereas me, I kind of grew up in the
Mhm.
heart of it. So I feel like I kind of had a leg up from
Yeah.
others.
So
Yeah.
how did coming from that background, of course, and getting the leg in, the foot in the door with working at Universal, what
Yeah.
was your first role? How did you find that one?
Well, what happened is Universal was just a side job, just something like to perform. But I was pursuing acting. I had an agent. I was going out for regular auditions. Never thought, oh, I'm going to play characters in makeup. It wasn't even a thought. It was just something. Oh, I love
Yeah.
this. It's cool. It's paying the bills. But my first stuff was in the business was what got me into SAG was doing basketball commercials. I was a basketball player, and I was very good, and I had the right look and build and the ability, and I did
Mhm.
tons of basketball commercials, and I worked with a lot of NBA players. Like I worked with Kobe and a lot of
Mm.
the old timers. And I made a good living doing that. My first role was actually playing Frankenstein as the guest star on the 100th episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, where I actually had
Oh,
dialogue as Frankenstein. So here I am working in the park as Frankenstein, and I booked my first role as Frankenstein, which was really, really a weird, interesting thing that happened. And I think I posted a video of it not too long ago, just as a throwback.
was that one of the pictures that you had in your file that you sent us?
No, I should have sent you the one from there. It was just older.
Yeah.
No, that was a different Frankenstein. Yeah.
Oh, that got my
That was
attention though
that was
too.
a cool one. That was like a steampunk looking where you see the
Yes.
brain.
Can we
Yes.
throw that one up?
Yeah.
We have the picture there.
That's pretty
But
amazing, right? That's all silicone, so it moves like skin. Um, that's a really cool one. That was in an independent thing that never went. I just love
yeah.
the look of that. That's why I put that in there.
Oh, it was
Um,
very iconic. And I'm a huge Frankenstein fan. That was what inspired me to get into doing special effects makeup. That was my jam when I was a kid, was
So
in
we kind of have the same
1931.
thing. It was
Yeah.
my in to like working was Frankenstein, because that's the first character I
Yeah.
played at Universal. It got me in with my height and everything. So I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
oh,
because you're what, 6'4"?
yeah, I'm 6'4.5".
Yeah.
So yeah, I was that age when I was in high school. So with the boots and then the head, I mean, I was about 7 foot in the park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many weird kids ran up to you rather than run away from you? Because if I was one of the kids, I would have been running towards Frankenstein. I absolutely loved
Oh,
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein's a huge hit at Universal, and he's still is a walk around character at the park. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just like a staple there. It's the monsters, the classic monster. It's Frankenstein.
Yeah. Yeah, I was elated to find out that at least out here in Orlando, they're going to be doing an Epic Universe expansion, and the classic Universal monsters are supposed to be a big part of that. I haven't heard if they were doing that out in LA as well.
They can't do any expansion in LA because it's already there's no space. So
Yeah.
they're very limited to what they can do. So whenever they put something new
Yeah.
in Universal Hollywood, they have to take down another ride. Like they
Oh,
took
wow.
the ET ride out that Spielberg had helped build to put in like a Transformers thing several years ago. I was like, oh, why would you take out ET? I love that ride. But that's what they have to do to change things. They have to take stuff out, which is
Yeah.
important. Orlando
Yeah,
has
we
so much more land.
Yeah, there. And I went out there. I had the pleasure of going out when I was on season 9 of Face Off, and I got to see the Court of Miracles, which I never thought in a million years I'd get to see. It was backstage and everything, and you could even see this kind of a little bit of the Psycho House because they had it covered up with the Grinchmas stuff. But
Oh yeah, no, I
that
know.
is so rich with history out there, and it's a shame that they got to take it down.
Yes, I know. I did stuff down there where like there would be special VIP trams, and I would be down there as the Wolfman, and I come out and scare people at the Court of Miracles, and then I take pictures with the tourists. So I'm very aware of the history of that. It was pretty cool to be there at that time. What was really interesting was I was in high school and I was in the park. All I could think about was looking at the stages and seeing it and going, someday I will be there. And it felt like, even though it was right there, it felt like the dream was so big.
Oh yeah.
But eventually it happened, which was cool. Like when I shot Land of the Lost there for like several months.
Yeah, we have some pictures of your Sleestack character.
Yes.
Because that is so iconic. And growing up, I think you're probably younger than I am, but growing up watching, the original Land of the Lost, that was so transformative back in the day and inspired so many people. And then you're wearing the costume. What was that like when you got to try that on the first time?
It was pretty amazing because I did watch the reruns of those shows growing up. They had them on reruns, and what was the coolest thing about it is I got to become friends with Sid Croft.
Oh, so wow. Yeah.
Marty Krofft is more of the businessman and Sid Croft is more of the creative. And he was the coolest guy and he had the greatest stories. And here I am on this lot with Will Ferrell, who came up to me several times and said, "Man, thank you for doing this. Thank you." And I was like, "Well, this is Will Ferrell thanking me." So those stages were unbelievable. I mean, literally the artwork went up like 65 feet in the air of detailed paintings and stuff. It was pretty cool because that was the first job I had on the lot since I had quit several years before. So I was looking back up at the lot and I went in and I saw people that I had worked with, and it was really, really a surreal feeling.
Yeah. Did you have to pinch yourself that, is this really what's happening? Is this really what I'm doing now?
Yeah, I still do that at times. I still do that. I still am like a kid. I'm still a fan. I am a fan who is getting to do these things and getting to play for a career. So I do pinch myself at times. Obviously it's work, a lot of times it's hard stuff, but when I look at what I've been able to do, it is kind of a surreal dream.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that was kind of your first big one, I guess, is from what you're saying, was Land of the Lost?
No, my first big thing that I did was Freddy vs. Jason. I played Jason in the
That's where I was going.
That was my first one where it was like, oh, this is really cool. And what happened was that as I auditioned for the character, right? I auditioned for Jason. I got a couple callbacks, and then I got put on a hold to play him, right?
Yeah.
And then I didn't hear anything for a while. And then I found out I didn't get the role, that they were filming in Canada and somebody else got Jason. Well, come to find out years later, I doing horror conventions, the guy that played him in the whole movie, except for the ending, his name is Ken Kersinger. He told me he went to interview for the stunt coordinator job. They were considering me for the movie, and the director liked him so much, and he was the right size and everything. He said, "Why don't you play Jason?" So he was going to be hired for the stunt coordinator. They were shooting in Canada. He's Canadian. I'm from LA. He ends up getting the movie. Fast forward 6 months later, after they shoot, I get a call. "Hey, we need to change the ending, and you would you be interested? You are our second choice to play Jason." And I was like, "Oh, hell yeah!" So I on a you. Got the ending part, and come to find out, Ken, who did the movie, they couldn't get his visa in time to that ending, so I was the second choice. So that's how it all happened. I ended the movie. So
well, I mean, and that was one hell of an ending too. I mean, you must have been elated going through that, and I'm sure you were a fan of Robert Englund and everything. I think everyone is a fan of Robert Englund.
I think that for me, and I tell the fans this, that was the most exciting thing for me, because I grew up watching Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
I was more of a Halloween fan, and I was a Nightmare
Yeah.
on Elm Street fan. I wasn't as big a Friday the 13th fan as Halloween, but I
Yeah.
love Freddy Krueger. So working with him, there was another surreal moment in the career.
Yeah.
He's so talkative, and he was like, "Oh man, they've been trying to do this for 10 years, and
Yeah.
finally it's happening." And he was telling me all about it, and I was like, "Dude, this is so cool."
Yes. And
Yeah.
he is, honestly, in horror, there are a lot of people that are, people assume that they're so mean and unapproachable, and he's one of the most affable, nice, talkative people.
He's cool.
And then I don't know if you've heard recently, it's kind of snuck out that he was a backup singer for Elton John for Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Did you ever hear that before?
I never heard anything about that. No.
Robert Englund, look that up. He was a backup singer on that, along with Rick Astley. I don't know.
Crazy.
Yeah,
I've never heard that before. Wow.
Yeah, he was a backup singer. So, I mean, that kind of gives you an idea of his spread. But, God, that must have been incredible sitting down and talking with him about that.
Oh, man, it was so cool. And he was so nice. And I've seen him since. And he's so good to fans. And yeah, that was cool for sure.
Yeah.
So that was the first big one. And then I slowly started to build more things. It wasn't like right off the bat things started rolling just because of that, though. It was still grinding, still doing my thing, still auditioning. And at that point, I still didn't think of anything about, oh, I'm going to be working a lot in makeup. It wasn't even a thought. It was just like, oh, that's cool. I got this. Now back to auditioning for bouncers and cops and whatever else I was doing. And then Star Trek came around. That was the next big thing. Star Trek, 2008. My friend Barney, who's become my friend, there's a picture of it, won the Academy Award, Barney Berman, for doing this makeup. It was the one he used in promotion. So it was really cool. It was all practical. People thought there was CGI, but it was me like moving my mouth around, exaggerating so that the chin and stuff moved and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And
all practical. I remember the hullabaloo in our world, because I'm in special effects makeup, and nothing against, Suicide Squad, but you had those two films up at the same time, and it was like there was such a letdown when Suicide won over it.
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, I think that people connect with practical effects, and I think that's one of the reasons why Mandalorian is such a success, is that Jon Favreau, who directed Zathura, is such a fan of practical effects that he tries to do everything he can practical, and what he can't do practical, they CGI. But when something's shot on camera, when you do a little digital enhancement, you don't notice it. It doesn't take your eye off at some video game, So I'm a huge fan of practical effects.
Yeah. I mean, I think especially like if you're an actor, you kind of thrive on being able to see, and it's better than a tennis ball, having that interaction, having that scale reference and stuff.
It's very hard to act on a green screen, with nothing around you. It's a very difficult thing, because you're manipulating it in your mind. Like, I've done motion capture, and I do not enjoy doing it. I turn those jobs down now, because I just don't feel like I'm acting. I feel like it's kind of like they have like a list of moves to do, and I don't feel like I'm connecting with the other actor. There's not props around. It's not a set. It's very boring to me. So having all that there to interact with is amazing.
And you don't say that lightly, because I've seen some of your costumes and the wardrobe and everything. There's one in particular that I think you were talking about on live. It was the character that you did for Hellboy. This thing, how heavy was that head again?
That head was about 65 pounds, all animatronics that move, nose move, mouth move, eyes move, cheeks move, brow moved, ears move. So every little thing that moved adds weight to it. and I had to fight Hellboy. And this is actually not the hardest one, but this one was pretty damn hard. The hardest one was Knights of Badassdom of my entire career. I have pictures of that. Abominog and that. The one with my head looks like a little pea with
Yes,
all the
that
costume around it. That's actually the Quest. That's a different one. This one was pretty
yeah,
hard.
we do have that one in there too. I must admit that we have uploaded. We normally upload a few pictures of the guest actor and
That's it. There it is. This thing was on stilts, where I was walking on stilted feet because
Yes.
of the design of it. The feet alone weighed 50 pounds each. The hands weighed about 40 pounds each. I was fighting people with an animatronic head. I couldn't see well. I couldn't breathe well. There were bodies all around me I was stepping on, and like I was getting thrown off balance. I literally think I got heat stroke on this because I went back home one night and I was looking at myself in the mirror for like a half hour, went to bed, and I was sweating for hours and I couldn't sleep. I couldn't think straight. It was horrible. Horrible.
And you would still prefer that over motion cap.
Well, that one I don't like to do characters like that. I like to do more
Yeah.
makeup stuff where I could actually act through the thing. That thing was just
Yeah.
way too heavily made to for someone to perform in. I don't know what they
Oh,
were
yeah.
thinking with that costume. It was ridiculous. It didn't have to be that heavy, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. And I've seen a number. There was one that I'm not sure what it was because I did my research and I couldn't find. It was the one with the mech suit. This
Okay, yeah, this was for a short film called Firefall. It was like more of like a film for a video game called Firefall. And the guy that did the suit is Steve Wang, who was like one of the original sculptors of Predator. You got to know, Steve Wang, right?
I love Steve Wang for Predator and especially for the creature from Monster Squad.
Of course. I mean, Steve Wang, anybody that knows effects, Steve Wang is a legend. Hell of a nice guy. He built that suit and he's incredible.
Yes.
He's an incredible artist.
Yeah, and I mean, it must be refreshing to get a role like that where you get to have your face out and,
Absolutely. I mean, that's what I'm working more towards. Obviously, I'm still doing great stuff in makeup and whatnot, but I'm working towards doing, the stuff out of makeup, which I started with. This is just kind of taking over, and it's hard to turn stuff down in like really good movies. Yeah.
Not to jump too far ahead, but I know that my viewers are probably chomping at the bit with this one.
Yeah.
But Michael Myers.
Yes.
That must have been an incredible when you got that call with your history and love of Halloween.
Dude, this was something that I had been putting out in the universe for years. So
yeah,
I don't know. I've told this before, this story, but in 2015, my signing agent, Sean Clark, calls me up and he's like, dude, they're doing another Halloween movie. And I got you a meeting to meet Malik Akkad for Michael Myers. And I was like, are you kidding me, bro? No. So we went in together. I brought a mask and I met the director who did the collection and the collector, Marcus Dunstan. And basically, it was a movie that Harvey Weinstein was producing. Dimension Films had the rights with Malik to do the stuff. And he took place on death row. That's how the movie started. So Michael Myers was in an electric chair. So I did a scene. I did the walk. I did all the stuff. I knew it so well. I was so confident in it. And then there was a scene in an electric chair where I was getting electrocuted, and then I bust out, and then just mayhem ensues. Well, anyways, Malik says afterwards, he's like, "Oh, that was amazing. You're my guy. You're my guy."
Yeah.
And then come find out they were having problems with Harvey Weinstein, and they shut it down.
Yeah.
The film never happened. It was called Halloween Returns. So I said, I will never play Michael Myers. That was my chance. I will never have an opportunity again.
Yeah.
So fast forward years later, I'm in Bulgaria shooting Hellboy, and Sean calls me and says, They're doing another Halloween. This is the
Yeah.
2018. I can get you another meeting.
Unreal.
When? Next week. Are you kidding me? I'm in Bulgaria. I can't leave. I'm shooting Hellboy. There's no way you can leave to meet and come back. I said, dude, it's like a 17-hour flight and I'm working every day. Oh, man. Didn't do it. The director, David Gordon Green, wanted someone in his 60s. So, who knows if I would have gotten it. But just the fact to go and meet with him, you never know, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, then fast forward, a few years later, they're shooting Halloween Kills, right?
Yes.
I get a call from Chris Nelson, who's the makeup artist. He says, dude, I put your name in. They're doing a flashback scene. James, the main guy, isn't going to do it. They want somebody else to do it to kind of separate because he's so iconic with his movements as the older Myers.
Right.
They kind of want something a little bit different to establish a different kind of walk because it's 30 years before, right? So I said, you know what? He's like, just put a tape together and there's someone's going to get in touch with you. So I went all out. I was working on a show called Legacies in Atlanta.
Yes.
And they have this huge prop warehouse with like amazing corridors, like dimly lit. I went in there. I went full out on that thing. Like I edited it. I had people. I was slamming into walls. I was doing the walk. I put music and everything. So the stunt coordinator, they were having him hire the guy.
Yeah.
And because there's action in it and stuff. And he's like, oh, this is great. Oh, great. We'll be in touch. So a few weeks go by. I said, hey man, what's going on? Am I still in the running? Yeah, you're still in the running. Then he calls me out of the blue and says, hey man, I'm gonna, how tall are you? And I told him my height. He's like, I'm gonna call you in to double James. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I found out that he ended up doing the role. His name is Aaron Armstrong. He did the role of the flashback, and he called me to double James, and that's how it all went down. That's how I got in to do James, because they wanted somebody that matched him, but also was able to do the movements, as opposed to just hiring anybody that may not know Michael Myers.
Right.
Do action. You got to kind of know the character so you could step in it and not look like just a guy in a mask. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, he was so pantomime. I mean, starting with Nick Castle, I mean, that was the guy that started this,
Started this whole thing. You can't veer off from that. You got to kind of stick to the formula because it works. So that's how all that went down. I mean, it's a story that I think is just pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not everybody knows about it. I haven't spoken about it on a podcast yet. So any Halloween fans, that's how it all went down. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play him in the whole movie like I would have liked to, but at least to be behind that mask and the Jason mask is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're the only one that's played multiple characters within this genre.
There's actually one other guy, Tom Morga, has done both. And he actually got in Leatherface, I hear, too.
Oh, really?
So he's the man. He's the trifecta.
Yeah. That's a cool honor to have, man.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, especially being such a fan of Halloween. That was the first horror movie I saw was Halloween 2. So it's a cool thing. Now when I do conventions, it's so weird when like people come up to me, they're like, dude, Freddy vs. Jason was the first horror movie I saw when I was a kid. I was like, wow, I can't believe it's been that long. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is that you've been doing this so long. Like my kids, they've seen you in Zathura. They knew you from Zathura. Yeah. And we actually have the reptilian character that we got. That was what started my kids like, oh, I got to see this show. And, honestly, they love the show, but they could care less if they watched it. But you pulled them in. This is the guy from Zathura. So, I mean, you have spread the gamut as far as your fan base. You have kids that love you. You have hardened horror guys that love you for Michael Myers and stuff like that. And then you have all this science fiction, too. We talked a little bit about Star Trek. You're in Deep Space Nine, right?
I did. I got picked by the director to be a part of this one episode called Children in Time, where we're lost in some like time warp. So I'm actually in it as myself,
right?
Costuming and stuff. but it was more of like a featured thing than an actual role. I was like just out of high school there. It was like
Yeah.
my first things that wasn't really something big, but cool to
Hmm.
be a part of. But that was the first Star Trek experience. Yes, was Deep
Yeah.
Space Nine. Yeah.
And then the Kelvin universe with Chris Pine, and then most recently we saw you in Picard season 1 as the
Star Trek.
Tellarite, which we have
Yes.
pictures.
Yes. Yeah, and the unfortunate thing about Picard is like originally I was gonna be on it for like ongoing the whole season,
Mm.
and more possibly. But what happened was Picard, what's his name? The actual Picard.
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
They were gonna shoot in Canada because they save a lot of money, and he said, "I'm not gonna live in Canada. We have to
Right.
shoot." Well, when you shoot in LA, your budget goes through the roof. So what happened was a lot of the makeups and stuff they were trying to cut everywhere they can. So instead of using me, they started using background people to play. Background people played my character, so they went
Oh.
with, extras to save money. But yeah, I would have been on it ongoing.
Yeah, and I know you can't talk much about it, but there's whisperings of another science fiction property that you're gonna maybe be in.
Yeah, so I'm in it. I'm actually working on it currently as we speak. It's called Rebel Moon, and it's Zack Snyder's directing, and it's his vision. It's something he's been working on for 10 years. He's got a 2-picture deal with Netflix, and it's this big sci-fi world, kind of like Star Wars, and it's pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah, and that's been announced. I've heard rumblings about that one, so I think everyone is excited to see, especially with all the new love he's gotten over the Justice League, and seeing what he had as his vision versus what came out.
Yeah, no, he's a really nice man, really cool guy to be around, and I heard that, and getting to experience it firsthand. He's just awesome.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So we have a few other images that I wanted to get your opinions on, because like I said, I was impressed with, yes, you're an incredible actor, and your pantomime I would put on the same level as like what Boris Karloff did with Frankenstein, and Doug Jones with all of his characters. You're in that same category, because you really do act through pounds of makeup. But there was one that caught my eye, and literally, I believe it was from where you had the lenses over your eyes. If you could pull up the picture so he can see that one.
Okay. So this was a real, a lot of times you do a movie, right? And you're like, it's a big budget movie, and it's like everybody hears about it, but it's not the most rewarding experience. This was a low budget film called Jack the Reaper, which Tony Todd is in it. And what happened was I had just done Star Trek, and then I got cast in this, and they didn't have a makeup artist. And I read the script. I love the script. I said, man, you need a real good makeup, because the way it was written was this guy has hollowed eyes. He has no eyes, right? And he's a Reaper. And I said, you got to have a good makeup artist. So Barney Berman won the Academy Award for Star Trek, and he wasn't getting a lot of calls. This happens a lot with people. People think, oh, he just won the Academy Award. He's not going to want to do our film, this and that. So he wasn't working. And I said, dude, Barney, I know this may not be something you want to do, but I got this movie. It's a slower budget. It's this makeup I think you'd be great at designing. And he looked at it and said, yeah, dude, I want to do it. And that was what he did. And what he did is he put these screens behind it. But the way the light hit it, it just looked like I had darkness.
Yes.
You don't see my eyes. And it was creepy.
Yes.
And it was a really fun character to play, Jack the Reaper. If anybody hasn't seen it, check it out.
And that has been on my list since I saw that picture, because that was, like you said, not many people heard of it, but it looks so intriguing.
It is intriguing. It was fun. It was fun because I came up with the character and did something that I felt, came through with the makeup. So I'm very proud of that character for sure.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And you were also on, and this was one of my personal. I love this film because I love the creators behind it. But Bright,
Yeah, yes. Bright. I got to be a part of Bright. I love that film. I love that director. His stuff is very gritty. Um,
absolutely.
there's something about him. He captures LA. Like I'm from LA. He's from LA. He captures the grittiness of LA so well. He's wrote Training Day. He's directed that one with Jake Gyllenhaal. That was a great cop film. I forget the name. Something Watch. End of Watch.
Yes,
He's amazing, right? This one he directed, and it was really great. And they were going to do another one right away, and then something happened with the writer that bad stuff.
yeah,
It's unfortunate. Chris Nelson, who did Halloween, also was the makeup head on that movie.
yeah. And I am so impressed. That was one of those beautiful makeups, and he took a very interesting approach. And I don't know whose idea it was, but the whole idea of the vitiligo was beautiful. I mean, seeing
Yeah,
that was just
paint.
so gorgeous.
Yeah, that paint work. You know what
Yes.
was so great about this film? It could have been something that felt so phony because
Mhm.
but the way they integrated it, like you just felt like they were real people that were discriminated against. Like you
Yes.
really had that vibe of like, oh yeah, those are the people that are discriminated against, you know, in life. It was so well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I hope that sequel somehow finds its way because
I hope
that
so
left it
too.
wide open.
Yeah, it really was gonna go right away, and then all this happened with the person who wrote
Yeah.
it. Um, and it's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
That was in a lot of media too. It's not like you can squelch that.
Can't squelch it, man. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
But I would be remiss now because I know we're coming up on the end of our interview here. And man, again, thank you so much for being on. But
Sure.
a bunch of people would send me hate mail if I didn't ask you about this guy, the hairy one here.
Oh gosh. Yes.
Let's
Yes.
pop a picture up of this one for.
Yeah. It's up there. Yeah, so I play the Jack Link Sasquatch. I've been doing it for many years now, and it's probably one of my favorite characters in makeup. It's just there's something about doing a character over and over again where I just kind of improv now. Like I don't have to think about when you get sometimes when I get a TV show, you know, I don't even get a makeup test and I have to like
Yeah.
come up with it on the spot and you don't always know how it's going to move or whatever. But with this guy, I've done it so many times that I just play and it's just so much fun and the commercials are funny and people love them and I just started telling people that I did this. I had kept it kind of a secret for years and then I
Yeah.
just started in the last year or so posting about it and people were like, no way you do that because commercials aren't on IMDb. You can't really look it up and say, you know, because they don't
Right.
say
Right.
that. So now people are starting to discover it now that I'm doing conventions and stuff and like that's one of the favorites is the Sasquatch, which is cool.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
mean, it must be nuts though, thinking that you got your start walking around the back lots and the front lots of Universal in the Harry costume, and here you
Yeah.
are in a new version of it.
I posted a picture side by side of me as Harry when I was like 18 years old, and then one as Sasquatch, and
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy to think that I actually did a show as Harry there. It was like a sound stage, and they did like a Foley. It was a Foley stage at Universal Studios Hollywood, and
Hmm.
Harry would come out at the end and scare the person doing the noises in the sound stage.
Yeah.
And to be that character that's so similar to Harry, it was kind of sculpted, kind of based off that a little bit.
Yeah. You could see that.
Benson Studios started it. Now
Yeah.
Legacy Effects, they're the ones who do it. And
Yeah.
I'm shooting new ones in a couple weeks. I'm so excited because I haven't done them for a couple years because of the pandemic and stuff. So I'm stoked. Can't
Oh,
wait.
right on time, man.
Yes.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I also got to admit that this one I couldn't find any record of, on IMDb or anything, but this giant lizard creature that
Okay,
is going to be familiar.
So that's Godzilla, and I did a commercial as Godzilla. It was for the first Godzilla film that came out. It was a tie-in with Snickers and the first Godzilla film that came out with Legendary. That was Godzilla that Legacy Effects built, and I wore. That was a beast. I just threw that in there because Godzilla is so iconic, even though it was a
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I think if you Googled Snickers commercial with Godzilla, it would come up. You'd see it. You'd find it somewhere.
Do you have more fun doing, because you mentioned the Sasquatch and this was another commercial? Isn't it a little more liberating doing the commercials? It's like you're in and out and done. And
yeah, I mean, there's times when it is like Sasquatch, obviously, since I'm the guy, is very liberating. Just come in there and, they let me play. Sometimes you don't have much time. The turnaround is so quick that to really develop the character like you would in a movie. But it is neat to just come in and do something quick and play it and have a good time. And it's more light in commercials. It's not so serious. We gotta move. We gotta make our day. It's a little more free. So I'm excited to do the more Sasquatch because we're shooting in Vancouver and it's a fun place to work.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, we'll take any Douglas Tait we can get. You're so iconic and you've done so much and you put so much into these roles. And it's so cool that you do this on TikTok as well for the lives because people can put a face to all of the work that you've done.
Yeah, that's been really neat to connect with horror fans and exactly what you're saying. I think that the horror community is really cool. I find that they're really nice, good people, and I enjoy doing conventions. And doing that is just a chance to kind of talk more about my work, especially it reaches so many people. It reaches people I'm getting people on from Russia and all these countries that I would never probably interact with. And it's pretty.
Oh yeah,
because they're horror fans too. They're fans of Michael Myers and Jason and these things. Also, it's not just U.S. based. It's everywhere. It reaches so far. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. And I don't imagine that's going to change with some of the other stuff that you have coming up either. I mean, you're going to get a lot of notice.
Well, yeah. I mean, thank you for saying that. I mean, the work is what I thrive off of. I love doing movies and stuff. And I have another one I'm going to do, which I'm so excited about that I didn't really talk about. I'm doing a Disney Plus movie, and it's all about Halloween. And I start that in July on the East Coast.
Oh, wow.
So
that's exciting.
Yeah, it takes place on Halloween. So, and it's an exclusive for Disney Plus. The director of Haunted Mansion is
nice.
directing. So I'm stoked about that because I'm a fan of the Halloween. Like I said, man, my lighting just completely changed.
Oh yeah, I will get you.
When I used to the sun going down, and
well, we will get you out pretty quick because I can empathize with that hot California sun, I'm sure. But you do have a couple of convention appearances we wanted to highlight as well. We've got it on the screen now. So if you are a fan of Douglas, Monster Fest is always awesome. Monster Palooza is that's like the San Diego Comic-Con of monsters.
Amazing. So good. If you're a monster fan and are anywhere in Southern California, it's the show to go to. They have the best people working in the business displaying their work, and you could buy one of a kind masks and stuff that you will not find anywhere else.
Yeah,
any convention or anywhere. It's just I'm blown away as a fan, and I'll be there signing. So I like to walk around too.
Yes,
so cool, and they have a museum there.
Oh yeah,
all these props from movies and things. It's just it's something you have to see at some point. Have you gone?
Yeah, I've tried, and I've always missed it because when I was on Face Off Season 9, right after we wrapped, everyone else was able to go, and I had to go back East Coast to work. which sucked.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
one of these days we'll get out there.
Good.
But you also have social media on Facebook and TikTok. Did we put that up? We've got that running. If you are, any kind of horror fan, check out his live on TikTok. It's very informative, and you can ask questions. He answers back. Facebook, it's the same thing. Check him out on social media because you'll learn a lot about the actor behind. And again, getting to know you, Douglas, on TikTok and social media has been an absolute pleasure. And having you on the show has even been a bigger honor.
Well, thank you for saying that. That's so cool of you. This was fun to talk. It's so fun to talk shop on things that, like I said, I forget about things. You just keep forward, and this is a chance to go, wow, that was cool to meet Robert Englund and other stuff.
Talk to Sean Clark about getting your butt out here to East Coast, because I'd love to see you at Phantasm, Spookala. We have a brand new one, South Carolina HorrorCon. Come east, man. We'd love to meet you here.
Absolutely, and if you know any of those people that run the shows, throw my name out, because
definitely
would love to come that way for sure. I've heard of Spookala. That one just happened, right?
It's next. 2 weeks from now, the 14th.
That's right. It's on the same weekend as this
one.
Yeah. People thought I was actually going to that one because I said, "Oh, I'm at a con Friday the 13th," and they were like, "Oh, it's cool, Spookala, see you there." But So,
but we have August is Phantasm, and we're the official podcast. They are a great group of people over there, and also the South Carolina Comic Con or HorrorCon. He's a personal friend of mine as well, so I'll give him I'll put some bugs in the ears and see.
Yeah, please do. Awesome, buddy.
Well, thank you again for coming by on this historic first episode of season 2. All the best to you, man. And anytime you want to come back on to promote anything, you are absolutely welcome in our manor.
I love it. That's great, man. Sounds good.
Thank you, my friend.
Okay. Take care.
So that was Douglas Tait. Again, guys, check out his social media. Check out his IMDb because it is spasmodic dogs over here. It is literally a mile long, and you will be surprised with everything. We could only cover a small amount of everything he was in, and he's such a genuinely good guy, as you found out. So support horror, support these guys. And we have a bunch coming up that I know that Boris is going to, because of course we can't have a season 2 without Boris. So without further ado, I give you.
Take the lock. Your front door is nothing.
I give you Boris.
That's the intro of Boris. Not the review thing, not the thing of the thing, not they get the damn commercial for the Pache, which Boris get because he get the money. But that thing, what the hell? First you lock him out with what's his that Boris can't even say the name because Douglas Tait. Another one, Agar Tate, right there. He was Jason, Michael Myers. He was Godzilla, and he was in a lot of stuff. But then you don't let Boris talk to him. No, Boris can't talk to town. Then you belittle Boris by putting him behind whatever the hell the accordion music was. He's out. No season 2 of Boris. Boris out. He's gonna call his agent and just go. Because
You're contracted.
Nope. There's a morality contract in that morality clause, and Boris has broken that 15 times already on the bushes tonight. By the way, craft services sucked. They left Boris a half-eaten public sub with ants on it. On what the hell was it? On the
Hobo baby left that for you.
well, thank you for the ants. Not the protein on the tuna fish on the porch. And what the hell? Where's the Boris logo stuff? What, you cutting him out? You jealous of Boris? Mr. TikToks? I've got 1,000 followers on the TikToks. I don't need Boris no more. What the hell are you typing? She typing now. She's going on OnlyFans right there. She's looking at man's feet
she's
pictures.
looking at the security
Nobody's
footage from the
talking to
cameras.
you.
Nobody talking to me. So anyway, again, last half freaking hour of the show, 15 minutes, because Spencer make it take all the time. His Boris do the yappy yaps and probably 20 minutes of promos. So, well, Boris got some. He had nothing tonight because he was going to phone it in because apparently he don't read emails. And
What did I say about that?
read emails. But you know Boris. Boris reads emails like you read instructions. That's why half the IKEA furniture in the mansion with the master falling apart, because it's from Flugenston, and Boris put it away. Boris wanted to put it away, and he don't follow nothing.
Am I going to have to do to you what I do with Hobo Baby and print it out and staple it to your shirt?
This is a nice shirt, though. This is like, Body Bag 500 who give Boris the one shirt for the second season.
Guys, let's just get along. This is season 2. It's the brand new season. Let's have a new start between us.
There's something on the monitor, Boris.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, producer lady.
It's wrong answer to your question. It was Bolivia.
Well, if he didn't drink my water, we wouldn't have a
Ain't no my water. It's liquid death's water. And you just allowed to drink it as a meal.
belongs to me.
Listen, if it's in the house when Boris is here and you're not, it's
You're
You're
Boris's.
not supposed to be here when we're not here.
Buy better locks, okay? So anyway, Boris got nothing, but then he found this on the porch underneath a chair.
Are you porch pirating
Nope.
my packages?
No, porch pile doesn't you walk away with it. Boris bring it in. But he opened it up already. Now,
Why are you opening my packages?
because it doesn't say Boris don't touch on it. Remember, you put the stuff that Boris don't touch. Anyway,
So on my Amazon account, I now have to put special instructions and put a sticker that says Boris don't touch.
no, you leave that. Boris liked the Dole Whip you bought yesterday. That was nice.
I was wondering what happened to that.
But Boris like Bed Bath Beyond stuff she got too. Boris smell like apricot right now. It's very nice. Anyway, what do you get when Fenster Maker orders some collectible online? And you get this is nice. This is nice. Well, it's not nice because Boris is going to save you some shame. Okay, Boris,
What is it?
it's a nice thing from Migo. And, Migo mean quality. Anyway, this is what Mummy, right? The classic Mummy. Boris Karloff come out and he wrapped in the bandages. And he come up in Hotep and he really shuffle, which is really stupid because the mummy shuffle and everybody just walk into the mummy and die. You push the mummy over, light the mummy on fire. Bastard what? Like 2,000 years old, he's flammable. And everybody shoot him in the chest with a revolver. No, take a big lighter to him. Minute.
We are not allowed to light people on fire.
Mummy's not the person.
That we light people on.
The mummy's not, okay, disclaimer, whatever come out of Boris' mouth, Boris say, because God probably say that crap again this season. Don't blame Fetz to make producer lady, Hobo Baby, or the 17-year-old that don't want to talk to nobody and just come to you if she need money or a ride. And you know who you are. and you're stupid too. And then or the boy that does stuff. Anyway, look, see, nice looking mummy. This is the mummy you think you're getting. It's a nice spooky mummy, and he reach out for you, like grab your neck and maybe choke you. But no, this is a lie. This is what you get when you spend $15.95 from the Migos. You get melty mummy face in one canopic jar. Listen, Migo, at least do the damn research. The multiple canopic jars, okay? You don't liquefy the organs and put them in one jar. It's not like carry-on luggage for a mummy. No, there's like 4 or 5 of them. And if you watch the stupid mummy movie, Brenda Fraser, please say the name right, not Fraser. Fraser, you know there's multiple canopic jars because you take the eyes and tongues and lips and buttholes out of everybody else in the movie.
No buttholes.
How do you know what they took out? Were you in the movie? No. So let it be. With the bad. Who the hell are you, Gene Rayburn?
Maybe.
Yeah, but why don't you get the yodeling guy fall off the mountain too? Anyway,
Entirely different game.
that's Price is Right. Want to do concentration? We're gonna open up the doors and say, oh look, there's a mummy butthole. Okay, there we go. That's concentration. Not even Jack Nars. It's with goddamn Alex Trebek. And you got the buy win crappy 1987 Hyundai with the frameless aluminum foil. Anyway, back to the crappy mummy. Because Boris mad. The feds to make it spend money on this. Money on this. This is not even booples. This is dollars. Now we're gonna open this crap up. Well, tough titties. It's coming out the package now. The Boris mad. So we're going to see what. First of all, the hell, they package them better than you look. What the hell? Okay. Now, first of all, we see where all the toilet paper from the pandemic went. Because when you doll a crappy doll, poopy doll, you're going to wrap poop in the toilet paper. Now, look at this. This is flammable. And you're going to trip over this.
There's no poop on the doll.
Yeah, right there. Right there. See? He doesn't wipe. It's a skid mark. 2,000-year-old skid mark. I'd like things producer lady going to throw for $500. And by the way, we got to do put that down. You don't have a license for it. Boris totally talked to Ocala cops. Anyway, 3 things about producer lady. 1, she was exposed to the something 19, and you know what happened? Something 19 had to go into quarantine for 3 weeks. 2, there's no such thing as tornadoes. Producer lady just hates the hell out of the trailer parks. And 3, ghosts tell stories about producer lady around their campfires. Okay, that's it. This is coming from a woman who slammed a revolving door. Anyway, look at this crap. First of all, he's going to shuffle, right? He's going to be like, I'm going to get you. And then they shuffle. Oh, crap, it fell. Because why? You got 9 yards of crap behind you. Who wrapped you? This is not quality. Egyptian mummy, you go to the British Museum, they stole a lot of the mummies from Egypt, and they're not built like this. Okay, first of all, you got the grabby hand, like this. Friggin' FaceTime you, bitch slap you, whatever, the black. What is going to take countries in Africa for $500, Alex? Listen, you're going to pat that buzzer. It's going to be, that's your problem now. Anyway, this is slapping. And look, you can't even slap because you got this dangly thing. Get caught in the doorway or something. This is garbage. Then you got this canopic jar like a damn teddy bear. Walk around. This is mine. He does this like a White Claw. That's right. This douchebag mummy drinking White Claw. Like, hey. And you know what White Claw is? It's the grandson of Butler James Wine Cooler. During the 80s, that's what drunk high school chicks bought to the parties in the house.
Like a Zima from here.
It could be a Zima, like a damn Egyptian Zima. All taste is like a damn spoiled Sprite. And it's a nice little set doll or whatever, like a little set that does, like look like a Doberman.
Like bunny ears.
It could be. No, it's more like a pointy face. So it's like a bunny and what the hell, the not the raccoon, not the trash panda, the other one. The possum had a kid and they put it on the doll and it's like, yay, and it's like a drink mixer. So you got the douchebag drink mixer, like you want to craft cocktail, and you drink that up in the bar, and they say, "Get the hell out with your stupid rags." Why are you pointing? Up what? You trying to make a put that up your nose. Anyway, look at the melty face too. You think classic face? No. You think like NECA McNice? You think that?
Oops, my bad.
The feedback. Yeah, she hit the button on you, and then shitty bullhorn. Anyway, the NECA. If you watch Fence to make a TikTok, which he whores himself out on the TikToks, makes Boris whore himself out on the TikToks. NECA, like look behind him, and he grabbed it, but he can't reach because he's too fat. NECA has a nice one, look like Boris Karloff. This one look like Boris Karloff's slow brother. Okay, this disclaimer. What? Disclaim the hell out of this. Boris already did that. This is the one that you get from Wish when Wish buys from Wish. Okay. This face is so melted, it probably pre-melted it because the sculptor decided, F it, I'm going to melt this one.
It's possessed by the devil.
That's what happened when you use it too much. The damn Annabelle doll got in that thing and won't let you use it no more. But this is horrible. This is mushy. He's not even the mummy, like in Boris Karloff. I'm the mummy. This one go, I'm the mummy. Like you need dental work. Hold on, but look at that. Somebody back up with bad brakes.
You said Borlus Karloff.
Listen, it's an accent and Boris is winging this, okay? You try talking Eastern European and...
Karloff.
Yes, and you said the homo baby before, okay? So don't even get on Boris' case.
You're going to get us canceled.
Cancel the hell. This is... Cancel this. Cancel this, because this is $15.95. And plus shipping. You paid shipping. Hope you got the Prime, because then you didn't pay. Free. Boris not even going to break that. It's not worth to be broken.
So it's not even worth the pulley?
It's not even on the pulley list. This is the pleh. We won the list. You got the pulley and pleh. Boris won't even spit on that because it probably make the value go up.
So tell us how you really feel.
It's not bad. I mean, if you have no standards and, you know, you want to buy a doll that look like they said, you know what? Let's just mail this crap in. So you name that. You know, you devoted. Migo, Dr. Migo is now the Mr. Pibb of Migo. He's the cola of Migo from the Dollar Tree. He's like the AJ Cola, like not even RC. He's just cola. So that can make it look like Coke with the sparklies on it. Just a cola. And that's what you get at your cheap-ass friend's birthday party when you're 5, because mom don't want to treat you with Coca-Colas. It's just cola.
Before they reclaim everything that I've ever bought from them, because now they're going to be so totally...
Oh, yeah, they're going to come to your house and take all the Migos. Yeah. First of all, Pui, buy NECA. Okay? NECA actually... Hello, NECA. Sponsorship, maybe. But NECA got stuff actually look like the people's. They feel like the people's, but touch them, and then the werewolf feel like the werewolf. Frankenman feels like the Frankenman. Dracula, if they come out with a dagger, probably feel like a Dracula. Probably even talk like a Dracula, too. Hey, I'm a Boris Karloff, you know, whatever. You talk like that. But... Migo, Pui, and you go to Walmart and they got what? Nothing with the Migos. What? The Star Trek Discovery. Who the hell won by Discovery? Really? It's like that one alien. It's okay. That's cool, but you buy that one and there's nothing. Then the Picard don't look like Picard. They look like Picard's younger brother with the motion cap. And then you got that one, whatever the hell it is. And you don't know who she is because you don't follow Discovery because of Pui, and you just want to watch Picard and say, we're not going to pay attention to that other crappy show.
Oh, you're going to see the next convention you're at, you're going to have all these fans of Star Trek just try to
waddle up to you. Yeah, they're going to come up and go, use the hook. And you know what Boris is going to do? With the mace. Get away.
So speaking of, where can they find you to beat your ass with the next convention?
Oh, is that it? Boris' segment done now. I got to do damn. All right, fine. Boris has done his 5 minutes of ranting and been annoyed and interrupted by friggin' thank you, Alex Trebek and Johnny Morrison from the match game, whatever. And then him pointing up and the dog leaving out the front door. This is chaos. This is why you know Boris at the end, because they don't like Boris. They just put him in this filler. Okay, this is filler. Not the dog getting involved. Let's kick the camera. Anyway, where Border's gonna be? In August, Border's gonna be the Phantasm. What, 13th to 15th or something like that? Border's don't pay attention.
Through the 21st.
That too. 19th to 21st. You go on the 13th, you get at least a room early. You see Orlando. Maybe go to the Titanic Museum. Don't go to Disney. The lines are bad and the Rise of Resistance break down. That ride go down more than a Hyundai from 83 with the brown door and 2 ball tires, okay? Boris trusts a Russian car from the old Soviet Union than the Rise of Resistance. What are you looking at? You should put...
South Carolina Horror Con.
That's next year. 2023, sometime in the future.
September 16th and 17th.
Why don't you do the damn promo then? You know when it is. Boris was told, hey, we're going to South Carolina next year. Maybe, if you behave.
Well, we're going.
Well, you go. Then Boris going to break in touch with crap again. So the Defense the Makers are going to go to the South Carolina Comic Con September 13th, 16th, and 27th, and 85th, and all that crap. And you're going to have a good time in South Carolina. And the Boris don't go, he's going to come here and molestize all the toys. Phantasm is what, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, something like that. Just, we're going to make Tony Greco cry now. They're not going to tell you. Boris going to break in, get the guy from IT and change the dates on the website. So no. Mr. Greco going to get an ulcer.
They have security.
And
Maybe.
Now you're giving him a reason to test.
Let's try that, okay? Hey, Boris like a challenge. I bet you the password's like 24689 or something like that. It's fine. Anyway, Boris going to change the dates. But apparently the real dates were 19, 20, 21 at the DoubleTree in Orlando. Not the single tree. That one got the amputee convention with the DoubleTree. What? Why are you licking at producer? He went, what the hell is that?
I did.
We're just going to watch them yell at each other for a second. Because Spencer make it just good this. What the hell was that? What crazy making ritual you doing behind the camera?
To limit confusion, maybe we should put the actual dates and
I
website.
already did.
So we just want to make
All right, go. Was it Phantasm? Is it still Phantasm.com? Oh, Phantasm.
That I ordered back.
Boris trying to talk on the camera here, Mister. You got your 45 minutes talking to Mr. Tait over there and talking real stuff, and Boris got to get. How about you like that? You talking to Mr. Tait, and she go, wrong question. My kids love the soda. We don't care about your kids, okay? Nobody care about the Festival kids. They smell weird. All of them.
Only that little one.
No, the little one rub up on the middle one, and the middle one smell weird, and then the 17-year-old walk by, and she smell like something. And you know who you are, because Boris mad at you. You're going to go in your room and move your underwear drawer outside. Anyway, phantasmofficial.com, you find out who going, what the real dates are, how much it is yet if they post the tickets. You can buy tickets. You can say hi to Mr. Tony Greco. Say, hey, we want to come Phantasm. Is that the whole Boris going to be there? And if Boris is there, you're going to go see him do the Creeps. Boris is going to do a movie called The Creeps where it is tiny monsters. Because outside the Time Bandits, Tiny Monsters is better. And you got Phil Fondacaro, you got John Agar, Phil Fondacaro. Really cool actor. He played Dragula. But the 3.5-foot Dragula is not so scary. You just push him over. What? It's like the Frankenstein. Frankenstein, what, 4 feet tall?
For miniature things.
It's tiny thing, but the monsters fit.
Stole all the salad, the shrimp forks.
Oh, yeah. They were missing too.
Yes. Just Boris go with the shrimp fork into the buffet and watch the owners cry. Well, you can eat Chinese buffet, and the other buffet is like, Fat Boys Barbecue. We go, is it all you can eat? They go, maybe. So then you bring the lid, but Boris bring tiny fork, and they go, okay, you can come in. 6 hours later, they call the cops, get Boris out. So what else Boris got to show for you?
Our new TikTok, which you already did.
We got the TikTok. What's it? Monster Manor
on TikTok.
Monster Man on TikTok. Yeah. You go there, see Festa make posts about season 9's face off, try to get a lot of votes and stuff. And people telling me you should have won. Go tell them you should have won. Just that make them feel good.
And Dr. Peggy.
Oh yes, Dr. Peggy's Pet Zoo has been actually open all this time. They haven't had a single fatality yet. But they tried a new thing. You feed the gator with a stick, food with a stick, but 9-foot stick. And every now and then they can ride the apocalypse for $5, but you got to sign a waiver.
And Murray.
No, but it's not going to talk to Murray this year. Murray's House of Shovels, they don't dig it no more because Murray, he asked Murray for a shovel. He had to bury something, and Murray charged him full price. So Murray, you're on SL. You know that. See, he didn't say shit. See, there we go.
Disclaimer.
Ain't no disclaimer. Just bought to say potty words. It's normal. You ever hang around the Navy base? This is like the Navy and Marines use profanity to like punctuation.
Yeah, we've heard a little bit about your service in Old Country.
Yes, Boris was in artillery. He had to carry the cart with the rounds in it in the mud. And then they didn't have a gun, so we just threw them, which is very dangerous because you only went about 5 feet. And then you go, hey, come over here, step on this. But the Old Country, I mean, the army was about 12 people because there's not really mail in the Old Country. You get your draft notice, you're like, oh, I should have shown up 2 years ago. Oh, well, we're done. What else you got them shilling? Oh, Boris can't touch the death water. The liquid death. Yeah. Murder your thirst and death to the plastic bottles. Hint, hint.
Got something in your eye.
Yes. It's called capitalism.
I thought it looked a bit like ambition.
That's right.
So, what else do we have going on? Anything that we missed?
No, the Fence to Make is going out this week on Wednesday and Friday. So if you want to join Borders, come over the house to play with the stuff.
No,
we're going to meet in Bellevue at.
I will be working here.
That's not what. That's not what your itinerary said on your phone.
You were on my phone?
You left it outside.
Boris.
His password on the phone is 249.
To you coming back after a season break between 1 and 2, and you came in and you broke my new mummy toy. And
look, Brothers did you a service with that piece of stuff. That's not the mummy. That is fail. That is a piece of plastic that somebody failed. Okay, if that were made by the Almighty at the beginning of the universe, and that thing was toddling around the Garden of Eden, you would have drowned it by now. You wouldn't even have made Eve.
I'll give you that.
You know, that thing come around, hey, how you doing? And he's like, no, get out of here. Go play with the rock or something. I'm not even making you a lady mummy or something. That's mummy mailed in.
Not even phoned in?
Not even phoned in. You mailed it in from 1865.
Well, before we get back on that, let's stay positive. This is
what is positive? That's a piece of crap toy. That is a thing, you know. Because the Batsman and the Supermans and stuff. Now it's got Melting Mummy and the Legolas that look like he's got the Michael Jackson disease where you turn white. Vitiligo. It's albino elf. And then Aragorn looked more like a homeless drunk than the Aragorn. Disclaimer.
I wasn't so much worried about his skin color except the fact that his eyes were looking 2 different directions.
Well, yeah, one up this way, one down that way. It's like, geez. Why you what? Stop playing the thing, cowboy. Oh, we got the cowboy, which means Borders got to wrap up. Bye, Borders.
We love you.
No, you don't.
You have created a monster and it will destroy you.
She's alive! Alive!
I am Dracula.
telling you. This looked like the Toxic Avenger got married with the Jason Voorhees from the kid pop up at the wall with the derpy face. This is the Toxic Avenger and the Jason Voorhees face.
Hey, Monster Kids. Thanks for hanging out for another episode of Monster Manor. Do us a favor, though, and hit the bell to get reminders of when we add new content. Subscribe to our channel, and while you're waiting for new shows, check out our website at www.monstermanor1313.com. New content at least every other week, sometimes even more often. Like and follow our Facebook page as well for other content. And lastly, if you want to help us out, check out our Patreon under Monster Manor with Scott Fenster. Thanks for hanging out until the end.